one talks about how abuse can linger into adulthood with very real consequences. It's a cultural secret. Shatter Boys could help shatter some of that. Sexual abuse is usually not a one-time thing, and it never entirely disappears from memory once you become an adult.
My name's Raymond Charles. I'm here today to raise awareness about what happened to me and to make people aware that it can happen to anyone. I'm just an ordinary bloke. I've lived most of my life basically wearing a mask. A mask that just shown the complete opposite to what was going on inside of me. I was subject to sexual abuse from possibly the age of 9, maybe 10, could have been 8, not really sure. For those that have been sexually abused, they know that time kind of doesn't really mean anything. You've got no chronological order or anything, so we'll say 9 years old. The abuse has affected every aspect of my life up until probably maybe my late 20s. The previous 15, 16 years were pretty hellish. I'd like to give you a small background of what went on. My abuser was a leader of the Boys Brigade in Fallowfield, in a Methodist church. He was also a serving policeman. At the time, I was groomed. There's no other words for it. I didn't know at the time, I was a child. I was groomed, there's no other words for it. I was picked, selected, groomed and treated basically as like a thing. That's what you feel like when you've been abused. You feel like a thing. I was invited to this guy's house as part of a Boys Brigade, sort of like I needed football, but I didn't have any football boots to play football with the Boys Brigade, so he invited me round to his house on a Saturday morning to come and collect some football boots. It was an innocent sort of thing. I went round to his house, invited me in the house. His hands were down the front of my trousers. I was naked. He used to wank me off, feel my arse, play with my balls. My abuser, he took it upon himself to help me swim in a swimming pool. Now you can imagine being away on a trip or on an outing with all your friends, maybe 30 lads who you knock about with and stuff. And this guy was like sort of, if you imagine helping somebody to swim, you would kind of support them on their abdomen and let them sort of like do that. Well, he was doing that, but while he was doing it, he was playing with me cock in the fucking full view of everyone in the swimming baths, man. And that, I couldn't tell you how long that lasted, but it felt like it was going on for weeks. It was hell, and I had to pretend in front of all those people who were looking at me that it wasn't happening. And that situation, that tortured me for years. It fucking tortured me for years. Really badly. Amongst the other stuff, but I would have periods where I would focus on nothing but that time. And that wasn't fucking good. That was not good. That's not good. I would never want to be in that situation again where I have to think about that. I was photographed, Polaroid photographed in sort of various positions by this bloke, and that played on my mind and took its toll on my just state of mind. We went on a weekend trip to some place, some outward boundsy sort of place, like a residential overnight affair. You know, a 9-year-old going away for the weekend camping or whatever. I couldn't even tell you what we did because it's just been erased by by you know, like these isolated minutes of just me just completely just freezing and just being used. That was just basically it. It was that was like the pattern of my abuse and what went on. The actual act of the sexual abuse which I suffered, initially that was my problem, getting over it. It was the initial act of it. The fact that I had a hard-on made me think that I must have enjoyed it. Early on in my sort of state of craziness, I like to call it, I used to think that that was my fault, and that became a huge stumbling block for me to get over. The fact that how could I actually make the words come out of my mouth that I was having my cock played with by a bloke, and I had an hard-on. So the way I seen it as an adolescent growing up, and believe it or not, into my mid-20s with a career and a family, I used to think that it was my fault, that I kind of participated in it. And it's that sort of thing that sort of grinds you into the it just takes all of your energy, all of your thought process just kind of revolve around that. But it's the control it's the control that somebody in that position has over you that is the most damaging, in my opinion. It's that feeling of helplessness, all of the guilt and all of the shame, and everything just falls upon the victim, while the perpetrators just you know, it's just a quick thrill for them, I think, or whatever day goes through their head, I don't know. It's like you're behind a piece of glass and no one can hear you, and when you feel like that, you just you look at people who are close to you and that, who've no idea what you're going through, but it's not their fault, but you think that please tap into me and help me, you know, please. But it doesn't come, because people are not mind readers. People just don't know. That's how it was for me, really. That's all. That's it. And I couldn't even tell you how many occasions that this bloke was in physical contact with me. It could be 10, it could be 100. I just couldn't say. There is more, but I don't know if I've forgotten it on purpose. Not that I don't have to control it these days. I'm 48 years old. I'm nearly 50 years old. I can cope. I used to think to myself, when I'm old, I'm gonna fucking kill this cunt. I'm gonna fucking kill this cunt. I never killed the cunt. I'm too nice a bloke to do that. Even after all that, I'm better than that. I got in touch with him on the phone and all that, right? And then it got to the stage where I just thought, I've had enough of this. I'm driving myself fucking mad. I just, right out of the blue, just called up my mother's house and just told her straight out. I told a lot of the wrong people at that time, you know, as well. But it was just bursting out of me. Anyone that's prepared to fucking listen, I was getting it. My son took it really well, very well, really very well, and it was. I never really went into details with him about as graphic as I have done today, but it didn't really need saying. It was more just to inform him that I've been through that, but I've come out the other side, and I'm still here, and I'm still this bloke that he thought I was. And to my surprise, he had no idea of any of it, any of my sort of emotional sort of turmoil or anything. He just seen me as just a bloke and his dad. I suppose that sort of like is another byproduct of my situation. You can really, you know, put in Oscar-winning performances when it comes to hiding what's happened to you, you know. So in one respect, it was enlightening, and I was glad that he didn't know anything about it, if I'm honest. I did feel a lot better. I don't regret it to this day that I did disclose, because it gave me such a, it gave me a right rush. I never felt as happy as the day that I disclosed. It was really hard and really the most difficult thing I've ever done. But God, I felt good. I was guided into the counselling situation. I took one look at my counsellor and fucking turned round. Luckily, in the end, I got a counsellor who was like, as soon as I walked in the room, I kind of knew. It worked for me straight away because he gave me a lot of answers to my questions, like a lot of the things that I did and a lot of the things that happened and my physical reactions to it and my emotional reactions to it over the last, 7 to 18 years. There was normal reactions, normal sort of psychosis or whatever the PS word is, whatever the things that I mentioned to him that was causing me like turmoil, they was just normal sorts of things to experience, very normal. And you know what, I want a freak, yeah. That 9-year-old boy wasn't a freak, he was just a 9-year-old boy. But you take that 9-year-old boy, you carry him on your fucking back when you're an old man. If I hadn't got help, I would either definitely be in jail or be in prison right now. But I couldn't physically hang on to my secret any longer. It was a bit like that feeling, when you get that whizzing before you throw up, and then you throw up. That's what it was like. It was just like that. It was like a champagne cork. So I couldn't hang on to my secret any longer. I'd fucking had enough because it just wore me out. It ruined loads and loads of good quality relationships and I lost loads of friends, loads of scenarios that I fucked up. And I'd had enough, you know what I mean? I'd had enough drinking and just doing weird stuff and treating people like shit because of the mask that I had on. It just slipped, man. It slipped, I just couldn't do it. And that was that really. But to be perfectly honest, it didn't go swimmingly after that. I expected, I don't really know what I expected. I just thought you disclose and that's you sorted, but it ain't that fucking simple. Because then you've got to you have to then, especially with your family and stuff like that. I found with my family, and I'm sorry about this, but this is the way it is. I found it was like that, that saying, the elephant in the fucking room. There's a fucking elephant in the room and no one wants to talk about it. It's a fucking elephant. Do you know what I mean? It's the elephant in the room. That's what you feel like. So you kind of feel a bit worse then. Because you think, I shouldn't have said fuck all, because it's just a bit impossible. I don't expect people mithering me about my state of mind, but let's not fucking pretend it didn't happen. So that's no problem, you know what I mean? But I managed to kind of overcome that anyway. I think I managed. I don't know. I managed to just deal with that. But that wasn't anywhere near as bad a problem as before. But that's what happened to me anyway. I felt as though people were like, whoa, like that then, and that might have been me. I made them feel that way. I don't know. Well, I kind of resented people close to me for that as well, for feeling that way, or how I seen it being the creating the elephant in the room scenario. But today I don't feel like that. I just how it was when I was 27. It was 20 odd years ago. That's how I felt then. So that's how it was really. But I must admit, I did feel a lot better for disclosing. That might sound really, that might sound a bit weird, but I did feel a lot better. I don't regret it to this day that I did disclose because it gave me it gave me a right rush. I never felt as happy as the day that I disclosed. It was really hard and really the most difficult thing I've ever done. But God, I felt good. What I'm doing today is purely and utterly for awareness. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't want people to feel sorry for me or anything like that. I'm not doing it for attention. I'm doing it purely and utterly to help or to reach out through this to people who are suffering. Think about that. Think about people close to you. You can tell them. Yeah, they will believe you. Yeah, they won't think you're odd. Yeah, and if you're in that situation, it's so much wasted energy, and you need help, and people are there to help you. And if my experience is anything to go by, it just needs little tweaking here and there, and people can support you. You're not alone. Yeah, you're not alone, and that's one of the horrors of this kind of crime, if you like. Well, it is a crime. That's one of the horrors of it. It just puts all the shite right at your doorstep, and it isn't your shit. It's not your shit. Yeah, someone just put it there. Yeah, it's a bit like if you went out and somebody had just thrown all the fucking street rubbish in your garden. What are you gonna do? Fucking clamber over it all? No, you're gonna fucking clean it up. That's what you have to do. For the first time in my life, I feel like okay, okay, and I've got wonderful support from these guys here, Shatter Boys, UK. These guys are, the real deal, and I just want people out there listening to this. If they've been in a situation to me, don't fucking hold it. You just don't hold on to it. You know you want to tell. You know you want to disclose. Yeah, but you know also that you fear what people will think. Believe me, people will. Even if people think what a cunt, it's a fucking minuscule drop in the ocean to how you feel. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So if one person, one guy like me, can come forward and seek the help that I know he needs, then that's why I'm sat here today. So thank you for listening.